We are going to be talking about how some overseas health and care workers have been trapped and exploited in the UK. So there's been a lot of different concerns about why the country is trying to reduce legal migration, and some of the ways that they've introduced is that if you're working as a care worker, you can't bring your dependents in starting from spring next year. Some of the concerns of the Home Office include that some of these visa categories are being exploited by people, and there's been some different stories about how people have been exploited before they come into the UK, and these stories has gone back to them, and they are trying to, even though there are other concerns about why they are cutting illegal migration, but one of the reasons of why they are cutting illegal migration is also the fact that people are abusing the health and care worker visa. I'm going to be sharing a particular story that was aired on the news today, 18th of December 2023. I'm going to be sharing that story, so make sure you stay tuned so that you can hear that story. The gist is that if you are coming to the UK on health and care worker visa, you won't have to pay the IHS fee, which makes it a bit easier when it comes to the cost of actually migrating into the UK to work. So if you are going to be applying to other category of visa like the skilled worker visa, you're going to be paying the IHS fee, which will make the amount of money that you're going to pay make a very significant difference from someone that is coming to the UK on a health and care worker visa. So some care homes and some agencies have used this opportunity to exploit a lot of people because they know that they are not going to be paying for so much. They're just going to be paying for their visa fee, and the government has waived the IHS fee for people under this category of visa. So some care homes and agencies have actually used this opportunity to exploit a lot of overseas staff by telling them different stories and collecting money from them. Some people, like back in their country, they have some agency like in their country that would tell them that, okay, we are going to actually give you a sponsorship job in the UK, but you have to pay some particular amount of money before we can offer you such jobs. And these agencies will collect money as much as some people from £5,000 to £10,000 from them, even while they are still in their home country, before they offer them jobs. And there's been so many stories that has gotten back to the Home Office about the ways people are being exploited for this visa category, and it's a bit concerning because this money that they're collecting is actually not supposed to be so. This money is not going to the government, this money is going into their pockets. They are starting to investigate different homes. If they interview a staff of a home and they report that their home actually collected a huge amount of money from them before they offer them sponsorship, it's going to cost like even the license of such home. So it's a big thing in the UK right now. There's been a lot of investigation going on. So this will lead me to the story that I promised to share. So there is this care home in the northern part of England that an undercover reporter actually go to that care home to work just to see how things are being done. And this undercover realized that some of the staff were not happy and that they were concerned about some things that was going on in the organization, and they were not being treated rightly. They also discovered that the organization is actually understaffed and they actually need more people to handle stuff. So the staff are kind of under pressure to meet a lot of needs. And they also raise a concern that when they go to someone like the management to report some of the issues that they are facing, they just feel like all these issues are being shoved under the carpet and no one is talking about it, no one is fixing anything. And one of the other major reasons is that they feel trapped. They feel like they can't leave because they are under visa. The organization has actually given them sponsorship, so they actually feel trapped that they can't leave the organization because things are not going the way they want it to go and they can't do anything about it. So they just feel like they have to continue to work with this organization. That is another concern. And the other major concern is that some of the staff of this organization actually told the undercover that they actually paid about £6,000 to £10,000 before they were issued sponsorship. So this is a story that happened in the northern part of England, and I believe this is not just a one-place story. I believe this is a story that might be relatable to some other places, some other care homes, some other staff, that people are being exploited. They collected a huge amount of money from them before they gave them sponsorship. So they approached the management of this home, and they denied that they didn't collect that money from any staff. That's probably the agency. So most of the staff that complained are from Indian. They're probably the agency that helped them in processing their work and all of that, like getting them a job in the United Kingdom, must have collected that money from them in India. So they denied. So we don't actually know if this is true or not, if they actually got some part of this money or they didn't get any money at all. So this has been a big issue, and one of the reasons why I want to share this video is just to enlighten us that if you are an aspiring person that wants to come to the UK, please and please don't pay anybody any money for getting a sponsorship job in the UK. It's so ridiculous. Some of these people that come into the UK to work, especially as a care worker, when they get to the home, some feel trapped. So there's a rule that if a particular home actually sponsors you, if you are under their sponsorship and you don't want to work with that home anymore, you need to get another job within the period of 60 days to start working in another home. If you can't get a job within 60 days, you have to leave the country. So this window is kind of really small. So people that are working in a place that is not conducive for them, they feel so much trapped that they can't actually like leave where they are working for, because they feel like, what if they can't get a job in 60 days? Then that means they'll be going back to their home country. So my other advice for my viewers is that if you're already in the UK and you feel like where you are working is not a conducive place for you, and you are facing one abuse or the other from management, from your co-staff, or from wherever it might be coming from, please be vocal. Most of us that were under this category of visa, sometimes we feel like we have to be like loyal in a way that is not good for us. Loyal in the sense that, okay, because somebody has offered you a sponsorship, even if you are facing tough time, then you have to face it like that. No, it's not supposed to be so. The government of this country is actually very kind enough to listen to whoever, even if you are a migrant or you are a citizen. If you are facing any form of abuse or any form of concern, and you feel like your working environment is not good for your mental health, it's not good for anything, and you're feeling that tension, please, you need to speak with somebody. If you speak with your supervisor at work and you feel like nothing is being done, please go ahead and speak with the manager, speak with the HR, speak with the director, whoever that might be the top person. Even if that person is not responding, please go out and speak with CQC, speak with somebody, speak with the council. Just make sure that whatever you are raising a concern about is being dealt with, because it's not good to be working in an abusive environment, or to be working in an environment that they make you feel like, okay, if not for us, you won't be here, and then we can do you anyhow, we can act anyhow to you. You are rendering a service to wherever you are working for, and they require you to also behave properly, to conduct yourself and all of that. So it's not a one-way thing, it's a mutual thing. So you need to be able to enjoy your time working, and they also need to be able to treat you with respect and dignity. There's been other stories of people that have come into the UK to come and work under the health and care worker visa, and they've actually come, and when they came, they couldn't find a job to do. Like a home will say, okay, like an agency or home will say, okay, we'll give you work when you get to the UK. But some of them, before they go to the UK or when they go to the UK, the government has invaded such home and realized that there's been a lot of abuse, or there's been a lot of exploitation from foreign workers and all, and they've actually shut down such homes. And these people that has been employed are now in the country. Some of them, they don't have anything to do anymore, and other homes are not really open to employ them because they are afraid, because where they are coming from, there's been stories, so they don't want any story that will link to their own company. So some of these people come to the country and they actually can't find any job to do. This is one of the worst things that could happen to anybody. You imagine you've paid like millions according to your currency to come into the country to work, so hoping that you get money to like balance back, and maybe even if you borrow that money, maybe to pay that back, and you are now in the country and there is nothing for you to do. That's so pathetic. So be careful, don't pay anyone any money. It doesn't only apply to carers, it also applies to nurses. Some nurses are facing a lot where they are working, And if whoever you are, a nurse, a therapist, whatever you are, if you are being employed as an overseas staff, don't see that as a way that whatever you are facing, then you have to be quiet. Please speak up and let it be dealt with accordingly. In the story that I was sharing earlier, there was a particular nurse that was employed, and they had a contract that, okay, you are going to work for us for 5 years. If at any point you say you are not working, you're going to pay us back £4,000. That is wrong. That shouldn't be in any law, that you have to be tied down in a particular place of work and you can't have a freedom to switch your work. That should not have been like that. So this person worked for them for about 2 years and saw the way they were treating him and decided to resign from the organization and get another job. And this organization had to file a lawsuit for him that he has to pay back about £4,000 or something. Thankfully, the organization this guy was working with helped him and cleared up the whole issue for him. Everyone might not be as lucky as this guy, so make sure you read whatever contract you are entering into. Don't say because you are desperate you want to relocate to the UK, you just sign things without knowing. Some people that maybe the company has spend some money on the cost of their moving to the UK, maybe paying for hotel bills and flight and all of that, they might want to maybe have a contract to say that, okay, this is how you're going to pay the money for flight and all of that. It's how you're going to pay us back and all of that. That's still reasonable. But when it starts to come to the fact that, okay, you have to stay with us, and these people, the people that are saying you have to stay with them, are not actually treating you the right way. So don't sign such contract. You are not under any pressure to sign such contract. Make sure you speak up, please and please. So that is it for today on this episode. Thank you so much, and if you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to click the like button down below and don't forget to smash that subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video.